Part 2, The Weight of Small Violences. Autumn came to the Ashevale territory the way it always did, gradually, then all at once. The oaks went gold overnight. The ferns turned to rust. The stream ran colder and the deer moved differently, quieter, as though they too knew something was ending. Lena marked the passage of the season by her work. Spring was planting and repair. Summer was preservation and patrol support. Autumn was harvest, storage, and the long task of preparing the communal den for winter, sealing drafts, laying in stores, mending anything that had frayed or broken through the warm month. She worked from first light until well after dark most days, which left her little time to dwell on the treatment that had become the backdrop of her life. The pack's other lower-ranked wolves were not unkind to her in the way Kalen was, but neither did they stand against it. Standing against the alpha was not a small thing. She did not blame them, not exact. Till what? Still, the silence accumulated. October brought a new development. Scouts from the Ironmere pack arrived to negotiate an extended alliance, and Kalen threw an elaborate formal gathering to receive them. The den's main hall was decorated. Hunts were organized. A feast was report. Lena prepared most of that feast. She had been cooking since the previous dawn: bread, roasted venison, smoked fish from the autumn run, root vegetables glazed with wild honey, pies filled with the last of the summer berries she had spent 3 days preserving. She worked with 2 of the pack's younger wolves, Mara and Soren, who were technically there to help but spent most of their time talking to each other, which Lena accepted without comment because 2 distracted helpers were still marginally more useful than no purse at all. By the time the Ironmere contingent arrived, the hall smelled extraordinary. Kalen swept through the kitchen exactly once, not to thank her, she knew better than to expect that, but to check that the presentation met his standards. He walked down the length of the preparation table, lifted a corner of the glazed venison with one finger. Let it fall. The bread is tea. Oh, pale, he said. Lena looked at the bread. It was golden, perfectly risen, baked to exactly the color that indicated doneness throughout. It was tively good bread. I'll darken tea. He next batch alpha. The desserts are too small. We have 30 guests. This looks like a modest family dinner. I can stretch the berry pies with the dried apple preserves, but tea will change the flavor. Then change it. That's what you're here for. He turned to leave, then paused. Try not to make a mess of tea. Is Lena? Tonight matters. As though she didn't know. As though she hadn't been awake since before sunrise, precisely because. She understood it mattered. She said nothing. He left. Mara caught her eye across the preparation table and made the smallest sympathetic grimace. A micro-expression that acknowledged the unfairness without committing to anything that might be noticed. Lena appreciated it more than Mara probably knew. The feast was a success. The Ironmere wolves were impressed. Kalen moved through the hall like a king, easy and confident, receiving compliments on the spread with grouchy nods. No one asked who had made it. Lena ate alone in the kitchen after the last plate went out, sitting on a stool by the fire with a bowl of venison stew, listening to the laughter in the next room. It's fine. She kept telling herself it was fine. But that night, alone at the edge of the den, she lay awake for a long time staring at the ceiling, and something inside her, something she had kept carefully still for a very long time, stirred. Not anger exactly. Not yet. Something older. The moon came through the high window and laid a rectangle of silver light across the floor. Lena watched it move, slow and exact, as the hours turned. The light reached her hand where it lay against the blanket, and for a just a moment, she could have sworn it was warm. She blinked. The moon as cold as moons are. She turned over and closed her eyes. But sleep, when it came, brought dreams she would not remember clearly, only fragments: vast dark skies, silver fire, a voice that sounded like running water over stone, saying her name in a language she had never learned and somehow perfectly understood. Lena. It is almost time.